All right, so we're diving deep today into the legacy of Frankie Beverly.
A true legend.
Yeah, and honestly, getting ready for this, I thought I knew before I let go.
Of course.
Like, who doesn't, right? But Frankie Beverly, the man, not so much.
Yeah, well, he's more than just one song.
Way more.
Right. I mean, he's a whole cultural touchstone. We're talking Philadelphia-born formed Mays back in the 70s and just...
His music, man, it's like the soundtrack to people's lives, you know.
Absolutely, generations.
Generations, yeah. And so to really get into it, he sadly passed away recently at 77.
Yeah.
And I thought, what better way to honor him than to really unpack what made his music so powerful?
I'm with you. Let's do it.
And joining me for this deep dive is, well, you're a music historian.
You could say that.
And you literally wrote the book on soul and R&B, so...
Well, book.
Well, okay, a book, but a really good one.
Appreciate it.
So I'm excited to have you here to help us unpack all of this.
Happy to be here.
So let's start with the sound.
Yeah.
What made Frankie Beverly's music so unique?
Well, you hit it on the head before. It's soul, it's R&B, it's funk. But it's all blended in a way that nobody else was doing, especially back then.
Right. And it's not just like upbeat party music.
No, no, no.
There's like real emotion in there.
Absolutely. It's in the lyrics. It's in that raspy voice of his. It's even in the way those bass lines move.
So give me an example. Like what song really showcases that?
Oh, man, so many. But Joy and Pain has to be up there.
Oh, yeah. I love that one.
Right. It became like an anthem, man. Like for getting through tough times, finding the light in the darkness.
It's got that like gospel feel.
Yeah, those soaring vocals, man, over that funky bass line. It's magic.
It's funny you mentioned that because listening to some of his stuff while prepping for this, I was like, man, this kind of reminds me of...
I was going to say it, D'Angelo.
Yes. And Erykah Badu, too.
Absolutely. You can hear Frankie's influence all over their music.
That's so cool. I never really connected those dots before.
It's one of the things that makes studying music so fascinating.
You really see how it all connects. So he's influencing all these huge artists.
Yeah.
But I feel like Frankie Beverly himself and Mays, they weren't like...
Superstars.
Yeah, like they never really hit that top 40 mainstream.
It's true. They stayed true to their sound. They weren't chasing trends, and maybe that's part of why they weren't topping the charts.
But their impact...
Undeniable.
Undeniable. Yeah.
You can't talk about soul music, R&B, funk without mentioning Frankie Beverly and Mays.
Okay, so speaking of impact, there was this really strong connection with Frankie Beverly in New Orleans.
Oh, huge. Yeah. I mean, New Orleans, it's like a musical gumbo, right?
Yeah.
Everything's in there. Jazz, blues, funk, soul. And Frankie Beverly, man, he tapped right into that energy.
I read that his shows there were legendary.
Oh, yeah.
Like the energy was just different.
Different is an understatement, man. It was electric spiritual, even.
Rather than just a concert.
Way more. It was a communal experience. Like everybody in that room was connected through the music.
I love that.
Oh.
And, speaking of connection, we heard from some fellow musicians. And
what'd they have to say?
Well, one fan described Frankie Beverly's music as like this soundtrack to their life.
Wow.
Yeah, like it helped them through breakups, job losses.
Music can do that.
It really can be so powerful.
It's like a companion,
Yeah.
Like a source of strength when you need it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that really speaks to Frankie Beverly's ability to like connect with people on this really deep level.
For sure.
And another musician talked about being inspired by his authenticity.
Authenticity.
Like Frankie Beverly just stayed true to himself and his music.
Didn't try to be something he wasn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that resonated with people.
Totally.
Both listeners and artists.
Yeah, like you could feel the genuineness in his music, the sincerity in his voice. It just shone through.
Yeah, and all these stories, man, it makes it clear that Frankie Beverly's impact, it goes way beyond just the music.
Oh, yeah.
It's about connection, resilience.
Finding joy even when things are tough.
Exactly. Like these are themes that I think we all connect with.
Absolutely.
Don't you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, his music, it reminds us of how powerful human connection can be. The strength we find in shared experiences and, yeah, how important it is to just stay true to ourselves.
Yeah. And so as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm kind of left thinking.
About
how we keep that spirit alive, Like Frankie Beverly's music, that's going to live on. But what about us?
Yeah. What about us?
What can we do today,
To keep that spirit alive.
Yeah, like what small act of joy or resilience or connection can we create, just something to think about.
I like that. Something to think about, for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, hey, thanks for being here. This was great.
Really enjoyed it.
Awesome.
Yeah.